Today, Saturday, the 22nd of March 2025, we have some hand-picked match prediction to share with you, which of course will be backed up by some stats and analytics to help you make your picks in the list to boost your winning by a greater percent. And to those of you who want to have access to our hand-pick event, which we share to members only, as well as our top match prediction tutorial classes to take your winning to the next height, then you want to make sure to join the Level 2 Pro Plan or the Level 3 Master Plan to have access to these features to take your winning to the next level. So without wasting time, I will proceed with the first event of our today's list. But before we proceed, I have a quick announcement to share. If you come here to the front page of our channel, you will see that we provide match predictions to members only based on goals, match prediction picks, corner kick events, and straight wins. And we also provide top-notch bet tutorial classes. For example, if you're a member of the Level 2 Pro Plan, you're going to have access to the Level 2 Pro classes. That will give you access to all our match prediction tutorial classes we share to members of Level 2 Pro, which will give you access to the live corner kick strategy step by step, the simple trick to make consistent win, never seen best strategy you can use for your advantage, comeback straight win strategy that will amaze you, a tactical win and 2.5 goal strategy, as well as a 99% win rate strategy you can use as additional bonuses to take your winning to the next level. But if you are a member of the Level 3, you have access to the Level 3 Master Classes that will give you access to the excellent corner kick strategy being reviewed, the top secret AI tool we use to find games in terms of goals and straight wins, the game changer corner kick strategy that reveals the top secret site we use for this strategy and how we use it, AI tool we use, the home and away win match prediction strategy step by step, and 2.5 goal strategy to beat the bookies and win even more. So if you have become a member of the Level 3 Master, you can have access to all of this tutorial in one place from the link below this video. So now, without wasting time, let's proceed to the first event of our today's list. Looking at the first event, we are looking at Netherlands in the Eerste Divisie. We are looking at the Graafschap against Maastricht. For this event, the recent performance of the home, the Graafschap, have proved to be very offensive in recent event they've had, scoring 2-5 goals in each event very recently. Maastricht, on the other hand, proved to be very conceding with a weak defensive line. Looking at the stand performance in terms of these two by comparing their strength, the form of the home, the Graafschap have proved that they have a good offense. They have scored 13 goals in 5 game play with 4 lead at home out of 5, conceding 4. Good offense, but that of its opponent, on the other hand, proved that they sit right here on the 19th position with a very weak defensive line, conceding 9 goals in just 5 game played. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this particular event, the stand performance of the home by striking power is very high. And since the offense is very great and the defense of the away is not that tough, we looked at 1.5 going full time as one of the major picks, as well as the possibility of the home to lead in full time. This is our major pick for this particular event. Looking at the next, we looked at Wales in the Premier League, Flint against Barry. For this event, the performance of Flint in recent event they have had have proved that they are good, scoring 3 and 2 goals and 2 goals in each event. For the most recent event they have played, each time they score at least 2 to 3 goals. Barry, also on the other hand, is a good striking team, trying to score 3 goals, 1 and 2 goals in each event as well. The recent head-to-head they met, 3 goals were scored. This time they are coming to meet again, and with a good stance and form performance of both sides, we want to look at the form of the home Flint. They have proved that, of course, they are good. 5 game played, scoring 12 goals, conceding 2. That's a good offense. That of its opponent as well. On the other hand, the seed here, you can see Barry. They are also good at scoring, and they are also good at conceding. And looking at everything in place, based on both sides, we want to look at 2 major picks in full time. For this particular event, both of the 2 sides will cause more shoot on and off target. As a result, at least, we are looking at 1.5 going full time for this particular event. Looking at the next, we look still in the Wales Premier League. This time, Cardiff Metropolitan against the New Saints. The New Saints have proved to be very offensive in recent event they have had, scoring 5, 1 and 2 goals in each event. The opponent as well, on the other hand, have also proved that by the recent event they have had, they are also good at striking power, scoring 4 and 2 goals in each event. The recent head-to-head they just had, the New Saints played at away in lead by 2. This time it is still going away and the home team coming home. And the performance of both sides in terms of the recent game by the form have proved that the home Cardiff have proved that when they come at home, they are good, scoring 9 goals, conceding 9 in 5 game played. That's a good offense and poor defense. But of course, the New Saints, on the other hand, in terms of the recent gameplay, have proved that the offense is also very good. Therefore, both sides are good at striking power, and we want to look at two major picks here in full time. For this particular event, both of the two sides are still very good in terms of the strike power. Therefore, more shoot on and off target will call. Therefore, we look at least the possibility of 1.5 goal in full time or 2 goals over. Looking at the next, we looked at England in the National League North. Chorley against Alfreton. Chorley recently have proved to be very offensive in recent event they have had, scoring 3, 4, 2 goals in each event. They are very good at offense. Alfreton, on the other hand, defensive line is very weak. They concede too much number of goals. Looking at the recent head-to-head, they have had 5 goals were scored between the two. And of course, this time, the home still have a good offense with a weak defense of the away. Looking at the stand performance by the recent game in terms of the form, the home have proved that by the home game, of course, they sit on the first place, scoring 16 goals in 5 game play, prove that they are very offensive and a good defense. But that of the away, in terms of the defensive line, they are very weak and they sit right here in the 20th post, that is in the 23 position, conceding 11 goals in 5 game play. As a result, we look at two major picks here in full time. For this particular event, the stand performance of the home is very good at striking power. They lead the table, and since the defensive line of the way is very weak, we look at the home to either lead in full time as one of the major pick or the possibility of goals, 1.5 goal in full time or 2 goals over. This is our major pick for this particular event. Looking at the next, we looked at Germany in the Youth League, that is on the 19 League, Stuttgart Kickers against Wehen U19. The performance of Stuttgart have proved very offensive in recent event they have played, scoring 3 goals in each event, very offensive. Wehen, on the other hand, also proved that they score at least between 1 to 2 goals in each event. Of course, looking at the stand performance by the form, you can see that the form performance, especially for the home team, have proved that they sit here in the third. They are good, and the form also of Wehen is also good. Looking at the overall form, both of the two sides are good at offense, and you can see here scoring 13, and its opponent also scoring 13 and 8 and 8. Both of the two sides are good at offense, with the defense that is not very tight. And looking here at everything in place, we want to look at two major picks in full time. For this particular match play, both of the two sides have good offense, and since the defense are not very tight, we are expecting at least 1.5 goal here in full time or 2 goals over. Looking at the next, we'll look here still in the Germany Youth Cup, that is Youth League, that is U19 of Norderstedt and Hansa Rocket U19. The Hansa Rocket have proved that they are very conceding, and they also score at least 6 goals, 2 goals in each event, but they do concede very much as well. Norderstedt, the home, also scored very much and also concede very much. Both of the two sides are very good at striking power, scoring lot number of goals and also conceding very lot. Looking here at the stands in terms of the form, you can see that both sides are good at scoring. While Hansa Rocket has scored 7 in 3 game play, conceding 4. Its opponent has scored 11 in 5 games, conceding 19. So both of the two sides are good at offense, and the defense is not very tight. As a result, we look at two major picks here in full time. For this particular event, both of the two sides are good at scoring, and since the defensive line of both sides are not very tight, we are expecting at least 1.5 goal or 2 goals over for this particular event in full time. Looking at the next, we'll still look at Youth League Cup of Germany, that is U19, this time Nürnberg against Ingolstadt. The performance of Ingolstadt in the way have proved that they are good at scoring. They also concede very much. That of Nürnberg also is a very offensive team in the most event they have had, scoring huge number of goals. Looking at the stand performance in terms of the recent event they have had, looking and comparing their form overall, we are going to see that based on form, Nürnberg, as you can see, score very high number of goals. The opponent as well, the same, is a good scoring team, and the defensive line of both sides are not very tight. You can see first and second position by form in terms of overall, and both sides are good at striking, and they do concede as much as well. And looking at everything in place, we look at two major picks in full time. For this particular event, both of the two sides are still good at striking power, and the defense is not very tight. We therefore want to look at least 1.5 goal, 2 goals over for this event in full time. Looking at the next, we looked at Germany in the Oberliga Hamburg, Dassendorf against Hamburg SV. In this event, the performance of the home have proved very offensive, scoring 2, 3, 3 in each event. Hamburg, on the other hand, is a more conceding team, even though they do score 1 to 2 goals in each event. And looking at the recent stand performance in terms of the games they have mostly had by the form, the home, of course, Dassendorf, have proved that they are better, scoring 17 goals in 5 games played, conceding 3. Good offense and good defense. But that of its opponent, on the other hand, proved that the defensive line is not very good. They sit right here in the 15th position, conceding 16 goals, making the defense to be very weak, giving an advantage of the home to score more goals. As a result, we look at two major picks in full time. For this particular event, we look at the home to take advantage of the weak defense of the way to either lead in full time as one of the major picks, and we also want to look at least 1.5 goal, 2 goals over. Looking at the next, we looked at Germany in the regional Liga Southwest, Freiburg against Villingen. The recent performance of Freiburg have proved to be very good, scoring 3 goals in each event recently they have just had. They had a game with Eintracht Frankfurt having a draw. This same Eintracht Frankfurt had a game with Villingen, and Villingen had a huge loss against Eintracht Frankfurt, that is 6 goals, to tell us that Freiburg still have the chance to beat Villingen. Therefore, looking at the stand performance with Freiburg having a better performance by form by the home and away, Freiburg proved to be better, sitting on the 4th place, scoring 9 goals and conceding 4. But the opponent, in terms of the away form performance, have proved that the defensive line is very weak, conceding 18 goals. As a result, we look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this particular event, the home performance is better. And since the defensive line of the away is very weak, we look at the home to lead with just 1.5 and 2.5 goals in full time. Looking at the next, we looked at Slovakia in the First Liga women. We are looking at Komarno women against Ruzomberok women. In this event, the performance of the recent head-to-head between these two, they have just met. This is the first game here. This same here, recently, 6 goals were scored. 4 against 2, while Komarno scored 4, that is, Ruzomberok scored 2, making a total of 6. This time they are coming to steam it. They will still want to maintain that form, and looking at everything in place, we want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this particular event, they just recently meet, 6 goals were scored. They will still want to maintain that form, and will still look at the possibility of at least 1.5 goal, 2 goals over for this particular event in full time. Looking at the next, we looked at Bosnia and Herzegovina. We are looking at Laktasi against Nevesinje. In this event, the home have proved to be very good. 2 goals scored recently. That of Nevesinje have proved to be very weak in the defensive line, conceding too much number of goals. As a result, the recent head-to-head they just met, 6 goals were scored. Laktasi beat it 5-1. This time, they still have a good form, and it is coming home. Looking at the stands, performance in terms of the recent event they have had by form, the home have proved to top here, sitting here on the first place with a very high striking power and good defense. But that of the away, in terms of the recent event have proved that the defensive line is not very good. They sit right here in the last position, conceding 16, giving advantage of the home to take advantage of a weak defense. Therefore, look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this particular event, the home is very offensive and the defense of the away is weak. We look at the home to lead as one of the major events, as well as the possibility of at least 1.5 or 2 goals over. In the next, we looked at Sweden in the Alfreton women, AIK women against Linkoping women. The recent performance of AIK in the cup they have had and also in the club friendly have proved to be very good, scoring 2, 5, and 1. The opponent Linkoping, on the other hand, is also a good scoring and conceding as well. And looking at the recent hit, that is the stands performance by the recent game they've had, the stand form of these two by overall have proved that this tournament is just starting, and both of the two sides want to impress, causing more shoot and on-off target. Therefore, look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this particular event, they are coming for this tournament for the first round, and therefore both sides want to impress. Therefore, we are expecting at least 1.5 goal, 2 goals over in full time. Looking at the next, we looked at Northern Ireland in the NIF Premiership, Cliftonville against Carrick Rangers. Cliftonville have proved to be very offensive in the recent event they have had, scoring 2, 3, and 2. That of its opponent Carrick, on the other hand, have proved to concede very much. And Carrick have games with some events where they had a loss, like for example Dungannon and Carrick Rangers, as you can see, they had with Cliftonville. Cliftonville beat it recently 3-0. This time they are still coming to meet Cliftonville, and the stand of Cliftonville has still proved that they are good recently. And as a result, the form table of Cliftonville have proved to good, sitting here on the 2nd place with high offense and defense. But that of Carrick, on the other hand, in terms of the defense, and it's still right here in the last place with a high conceding power. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at 2 major picks in full time. For this particular event, the recent performance of the home have proved to be more. And since the offensive strength of the home is better and the defense of the away is weak, we look at it to either lead in full time as one of the major picks, or at least the possibility of 1.5 goal in full time. And to those of you who want to have access to our handpick event, we will share to members only, as well as our top match prediction picks, which we have shared in terms of corner kicks, goal match prediction picks, which is upcoming to take your winning to the next height, as well as our top-notch bet class tutorial to see how you can take your winning to the next level. Then you want to make sure to join the level 2 pro plan or the level 3 master plan to have access to these features to take your winning to the next height. Good luck and see you again in the next upload, and bye-bye for now.